Hello everyone, myself Anusha Emma from second year MSc PG Department Chemistry, Government Science College Hassan, and my seminar topic is conformations and configurations of monosaccharides. Let me get started with introduction. Carbohydrates are important classes of naturally occurring organic compound. These include glucose, fructose, sucrose, starch, cellulose and much more. So the name itself say carbohydrates means carbo means it has an carbon, hydro means it has an water component that is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. Say they are composed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Carbohydrates is refers to the broad classes of polyhydroxylated aldehydes and ketones commonly called as sugars. Carbohydrates are also called as in saccharides. Latin saccharum means a sugar. Because of a sweet taste of a simpler member, these are classes of a sugar. Now we have to know what is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are a single unit carbohydrates that cannot be broken into a simpler carbohydrates upon hydrolysis. Can explain with an example. We'll take glucose or fructose which has a molecular formula C6H12O6. On hydrolysis there is no reaction. That is further cannot be broken into simple carbohydrates upon hydrolysis. So we have to know the classifications of monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are classified either as aldose or ketose. So many of has a question that C6H12O6 can either be glucose or fructose, which can be identified using this classification. We have a structure of an glucose, fructose and ribose. Glucose can also be called as an aldohexose because it has an aldehyde group. Now we have to name this. It has an aldehyde group, so it is aldo. Hexo comes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 carbon atom, so it comes hexo. O's represent it is a classified of in carbohydrates. Then we have a fructose. Fructose doesn't have an aldehyde group, it has a ketonic group. So keto, hexo come from 6 carbon atom XOs. Ribose. Ribose is made up of an aldehyde. It has an aldehyde group. So aldo, pentose, 5 carbon atoms. So pent, was represent it is a carbohydrate. This is the main difference between glucose and fructose having the same molecular formula but different in structural formula. Glucose has an aldehyde group and fructose has an ketonic group. Now we have to move on to our main topic, that is configurations of monosaccharides. Optical isomerism, the type of an isomerism commonly found in carbohydrates when molecule contain one or more chiral carbon atom, because carbohydrates contain one or more chiral carbon atom, that is chiral center. Let me explain with a simple example of an glyceraldehyde which has an one chiral carbon atom and can exist in two optical isomerism form. We have two optical isomer form of an glyceraldehyde, which is represented as in D plus glyceraldehyde and L minus glyceraldehyde. This D and L represents the configuration. I have to know how we designate these as in D and L configuration. If the OH or hydroxy group present to the right side of an penultimate carbon atom, these are penultimate carbon atom, that is a last carbon, we say it as a last carbon atom. If these OH is present on the right side of an penultimate carbon atom, is said to have an D configuration. And if the OH is present on the left side of an penultimate carbon atom, is said to have an L configuration. This is how we designate D and L configuration. This positive and negative sign represent how it rotate a plane polarized light. Okay, let me explain this, how it rotate a plane polarized light. Okay, if these isomer or D-glyceraldehyde rotate a plane polarized light in clockwise direction, this is a clockwise direction, we know clockwise direction, and said to have a positive sign, then this compound is called as a dextrorotatory compound, so it has a plus sign. So if these isomer rotate a plane polarized light in anti-clockwise direction, this is the anti-clockwise direction. If rotate in anti-clockwise direction is said to have a negative sign, and this compound is designated as an levorotatory compound. This can be identified by doing an experiment using polarimeter. Another examples showing how we designate a configuration. These are all D configuration isomers because the OH is present on the right side of penultimate carbon atom. You can see this is the last carbon atom, so penultimate carbon atom, the OH is present on right side, so it has a D configuration. And positive and negative sign represents how it rotate a plane polarized light. These are all the open chain structure of an monosaccharides. So these open chain structure of an monosaccharides are not true. Where Fischer realized that some of its chemical behavior is not explained. So glucose does not form a crystalline bisulfite compound and fail to give a Sif's test, indicating the absence of an CHO group. This is the structure of an glucose which has an CHO group. But when we do a Sif's test, it shows that there is an absence of CHO group. To this, the French chemist Tarnet established that the glucose exhibit in two crystalline form, that is alpha glucose and beta glucose. Let me show the structure of an alpha glucose and beta glucose by taking an example of an D glucose. This is a common open chain structure of an D glucose, which is interconverted to alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, which converts this form into an hemiacetyl form. So these explain that D-glucose can react both as an aldehydic and cyclic hemiacetyl in which CHO is absent. You can see in hemiacetyl form the CHO is absent and we have an alcoholic group. So that's why it failed to give an stiff state. These hemiacetyl also does not explain some of the conformations. So a scientist called Howard introduced a hexagonal structure for this. We'll show this structure. This is an hexagonal structure which is introduced by an Howard. So it is called as an Howard structures. So these hexagonal cycle representation, see we have an hexagonal representation, it shows that it is an heterocyclic ring. Heterocyclic means we have an heteroatom oxygen and a cyclic ring, so it's an heterocyclic ring which resembles the structure of an pyrrole. So it is a heterocyclic pyrrole which contain 5 carbon and 1 oxygen atom. This is how we write the Howard structure. How to convert this hemiacetyl form into Howard structure? See, the OH and H present on the right side will move upwards and the H and OH are present on the left side will move downwards. This is how we convert these hemiacetyl form into an Howard structure. The same goes for beta D glucose. The OH and H present on the right side will move upwards and the OH and H present on the left side will move downwards. This is how we convert to an Howard structure. And the name changes as alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. Because of an adding of an pyrrole ring, it becomes pyranose. These Howard structure has some of a restriction on the angles, that is a ring strain and stress, and it is not stable. To convert this into stable form, it converts itself into a pucker form such as chair conformations, board conformations and many conformations. Now we have to convert this form into a chair conformation, which is a most stable conformation. How to convert this Howard structure into chair conformation? If we pull this carbon up and these carbon down, holding both carbon, if you pull this carbon up and these carbon down, we'll get the chair conformation. We can also get another chair conformation by pulling these carbon up and these carbon down, okay, vice versa. So same we can get a chair conformation for beta D glucopyranose also. Now we have to, let me assume I have pulled this carbon up and this carbon down. Then what happens? The H present on the upper side will be on axial and OH is on an equatorial. And the If we pull this up and this will carbon becomes down, then the CH2OH on the equatorial and H is on axial. If we pull this carbon down, then the H is on an equatorial and OH is on an axial. If we pull this down, this will goes up and H will be on axial and OH is on an equatorial. This is how we convert into chain conformations. We can also convert these beta D glucopyranose into chain conformation by pulling this up and this down. I have represented this chain conformation of beta D glucopyranose. So beta D glucopyranose is more stable than alpha D glucopyranose because all the OH and CH2OH are in equatorial position. If all the bulk groups are present on equatorial, there is a less interaction and hindrance, so it becomes more stable. But in alpha D glucopyranose, one of the H is on an axial, where some of an angle strain will take place and makes it less stable than beta D glucopyranose. We can see all the carbon, the H and OHs are on the same position except these two carbon. These two carbon are called anomeric carbon, where there is a difference between OH and H arrangement and makes a difference between alpha D glucopyranose and beta D glucopyranose. So I explained all of this. If you have any doubt, you can refer to the books which I have referred, the textbook of in biochemistry, Dr. U. Satyanarayana and Dr. U. Chakrapani, and chemistry of an organic natural product, volume 1 from O.P. Agarwal. Thank you.